Hey, I'm Evan Michael Lee. You might have heard me in such projects as Guilty Gear Strive's Nagoriyuki, Bleach Thousand Year Blood Wars, Lille Barro, Hades in Fortnite, and various other roles. And of course, we can't forget Jazz in Transformers 1. And you're watching In Conversation with Amber Jones.
Hello, everybody. Amber here. Welcome back to In Conversation with ATF. My guest today is a voice actor. He's a performer. You may know him as the voice of Jazz in Transformers 1, Hades in Fortnite. Now, I'm going to get some of these names wrong because I don't know a lot of anime.
I got you.
Lille Barro in Bleach Thousand Year Blood War.
So everyone does call him Lil, but actually when I did the first session, they said it's Lige.
Lige, okay.
That was the official pronunciation. So I was like, all right, well, we'll roll with it.
Barro in Bleach Thousand Year Blood War. Nagoriyuki in Guilty Gear
Well
Strive.
done.
Oh,
well done.
there we go.
You did it. You did it.
Barry Sembene in Jurassic World. Oh my god, I'm actually doing quite well, to be fair.
Crushing it.
in Jurassic World Chaos Theory. That's one of your latest projects. And other stuff including Camp WWE, A Storybot Space Adventure, Street Fighter 6, Marvel Spider-Man 2, Final Fantasy Rebirth, Dynasty Warriors Origins, Asgard's Wrath 2, and many other things. And he's also really good at doing a Darth Vader impression as well. Thank you, TF Wiki, for letting me know of that information. My guest is Evan Michael Lee.
Oh, thank you. What a intro. You were nervous, but you crushed it.
I did. I remember when I did it with Charlie Other, he was like, "You killed it. You'd be able to do my when I die. You'll be doing my eulogy." I'm like, probably. It's so funny. But first of all, I've got to ask, how are you doing on this fine? I'd say evening because it's very dark in the UK. It's been raining, so it's like a mix between a very dark blue and greyish sky. How are you doing on this fine evening, morning, afternoon? It's afternoon where you are.
I am good. However, in current events, literally an hour before you and I just started this, we had an earthquake that was like down in San Diego. I think they said it was like a 6.0. Like I was like walking in my house and all of a sudden like the emergency like alert. So I like stopped, like looked around, like kind of waited for like because you live out here long enough, you can kind of anticipate when it's happening, and then kind of stood around, nothing was happening. So I was like, okay. okay, I think we're in the clear, and I was on like alert for like 10 minutes, like maybe like an aftershock coming, and nothing happened. Outside of that, I'm great.
That's good.
Yeah, life's good.
That reminds me, I came close, well, I wouldn't say close to experiencing an earthquake, but when I was at TFcon, I got a text from my friend who lives in Ventura. And she was like, I was going to stay with her a few days after TFcon. She was like, "Hey, we just had a massive earthquake. Not sure if you felt that." So I just responded, "Oh, sorry, that was me jumping up and down. I'm just that excited to meet Frank Welker."
LOL, stop it. Wait, was this year?
Yes. We met at TFcon.
I was trying to think of like, wait, usually I like remember when like all like kind of the bigger earthquakes happen. I was like, oh wait, did that?
Oh, I think it was in Ventura. I didn't feel it at all. I think it was just in sort of Ventura.
It's like usually if it's like a busy week, I'm like, I don't know, maybe it was just whatever.
I thought you meant that you didn't remember me from TFcon. I was like,
no.
I remember the jacket.
Obviously, I remember you. I was trying to think back. It's like, did we have an earthquake that week?
I didn't feel anything.
Maybe way out in Ventura.
Probably was way out, yeah. But
earthquakes are weird out here.
Yeah, definitely.
Like they're spotty. Like sometimes you'll feel it out in Ventura, but then like no one else will feel it. But like right now, it was in San Diego, and then it was I think they could feel it a little bit in Orange County, and I think like way up in Pasadena they could feel it, but like no one else apparently felt the thing. So it's like I don't understand Earth.
That's crazy.
Yeah,
I don't understand them either. Like we don't get them in the UK. It's really weird. I'd say, oh yeah, I hope to experience one when I'm out there, but no, I don't really want to wish one. That's not the right thing to say.
Because they're so unpredictable. You never know.
Oh yeah. Excuse me. It's pencil, a pen. I do apologize.
Oh God, no, you're fine.
I find it very hard sometimes because of my autism. Like sometimes when I'm sitting down, I have to like sort of like fidget with something. So sometimes if I'm doing an interview, you can't see an ish.
Do you know how to twirl a pen?
No.
Oh, see, I don't even know if I don't even have a pen in here, but I used to be able to really good at it, like but like nah, it's been years. That was like my I'm bored in high school thing. Teacher saw.
Hold on, wait. And it just flicks all across the room.
Yeah. Never mind.
Yeah, well, with some practice. But
Exactly.
I thought maybe before we talk about your career, I'd like to talk about some Comic Cons that you're doing. Now, the most notable one I'd like to talk about coming up is TF Nation. Now, yay! So for those of you at home who live in the UK, Evan will be appearing at TF Nation at the Hilton Metropole in Birmingham this August. That's how you say it. That's how Americans say it. They say it like Birmingham. We say it just Birmingham.
Yeah, we do. We say Birmingham, but it's pronounced what? Birmingham?
Birmingham. We just say it without the H.
Yeah. Just kind of run it all through together. That's fine. Yeah. Because that's gonna be what, August?
Oh yeah,
I don't have my calendar.
I've forgotten myself, to be fair.
I want to say it's like the 10th through the 12th, maybe the 13th.
The 8th
I don't know.
to the 10th.
There we go. There it is.
But
I was close.
Is this? I believe. So Evan's going to be at TF Nation alongside Sophia Miles, Scott McNeil, and Neil Kaplan. Kaplan. Neil, if you're watching this, I'm so sorry. I've lost up. But honestly, I'd like to ask you. Have you ever been to the UK before?
This will be my first time in the UK, and I couldn't be more thrilled.
Oh, I was going to say, because there are a lot of Transformers. Obviously, there's going to be Transformers 1 fans going, and they usually sometimes have like a movie screening on the evenings.
Oh, no way.
Who knows if they'll screen Transformers 1? I don't know. They most likely will, because it's on DVD now, is it? It's on.
Yeah, it's on Blu-ray. I think I saw a clip of God, I don't know what year it was. Wasn't it like a year where they were showing the first Transformers and everyone was kind of doing like call outs like Rocky Horror Picture Show? Right, because everyone like knows the lines. Yeah.
Yes, that's what they do.
I was like, that's fun. That's fun. See, I don't know the movie that well enough, like the first Transformer movie. I don't know it well enough to quote it, but maybe I could like watch it.
They were doing that last year. I don't know much. I've never seen it.
I'll join in with y'all.
So funny. But honestly, you're gonna love it. It's a really lovely convention. I'll put links to the description for people if they want to come and see if they're into
What's the weather like in August?
Sunny.
Like light jacket weather, sunny. Okay.
Yeah, it varies. Okay. In the UK, you never know. You just never know, to be fair. But honestly, it's a really chill convention. You're gonna really love it, and and there's gonna be so many people coming out to this event. It usually sells out. I know what I was gonna say, because from what I watched the Transformers 1, Jazz didn't really appear that much. He only had a handful of lines.
No, I was kind of in and out.
I know, but his role was very small. But the way, Evan, you are, it just makes it so memorable. And when people go to Comic Cons, you see people lining up to meet you. And so many people meeting Jazz, the voice of Jazz, who was only in the movie for I'd say not even 5 minutes. That just shows you how memorable and how good of a performance it was.
You guys. No,
that's what's going to be like at TF Nation.
The fandom, the fandom has been, it's been the gift that keeps on giving. I think getting to be part of this franchise, looking back on my life, I think the writing was on the wall kind of the whole time, whether I was even aware of it or not. And I'm sure we'll get into it later about working at Universal and voicing Megatron. But people have asked me did you grow up watching the show? I was like, yeah, like all of us, we all watched the show. And I think I was, admittedly so, I was probably like a middle of the road Transformers fan. I I liked it, but I never intently followed it. But I always had friends who liked it, and it was always kind of around. We all watched Transformers and Ninja Turtles and G.I. Joe and
So, you were born in the 80s, weren't you?
I was born in the 80s. Yes, I was.
Ooh, you were in that era.
I was in the era of the Transformers, Thundercats, Ninja Turtles, G.I. Joe, the list goes on and on and on. Voltron. Yeah. So it's that was my era. That was my era.
Yes. That's so cool. I love it, mate. Honestly. Yeah. Such a good. I was born in the wrong era. I was born in 2004, but
listen, we all show up when we show up.
It's a good saying. I'm
Hmm.
gonna keep that in mind. I'm
Yeah,
definitely gonna film that. Yeah.
yeah.
Show it when we
Show up
show
when you
up.
show up.
I love
Here
that.
you are.
I love
You
that.
know.
Oh. Now, I've got to quickly mention before
Uh-huh.
we get onto your actual career about
Yeah.
TFcon. Now,
Uh-huh.
I don't know because, like, obviously, I didn't watch Transformers 1 when it first came out, so I wasn't that
Mhm.
familiar with it up until I started speaking to you essentially before I actually
Yeah.
saw the movie. Was
Uh-huh.
TFcon LA that was last month? Was that your first ever convention appearance, or had you done multiple ones before?
Right. That was not my first ever convention appearance, but that was my first
First TFcon.
yeah, like Transformer related convention.
Yeah,
Yes.
yeah, yeah,
Yeah,
yeah,
yeah, yeah,
yeah.
yeah. I've
Okay.
been to a few other ones because I know you mentioned Nagoriyuki. I've been to Evo. It's this like big fighting game tournament out here in Vegas. I've been to that twice.
Oh,
Like Anime Expo and Anime Impulse, and I've done some esports tournaments for like fighting games and whatnot. But yeah, this is like the first yeah, like Transformer centric um convention I got to go to. And it would I was so excited to go to it, and it did not like I'm not just saying this, y'all, like it did not disappoint. It is a lot of fun. And if you haven't been to one before and it's in a town near you, I highly encourage you to get a ticket.
definitely. I do agree as well. They
Yeah.
did. I know they do LA every. Oh, sorry, go ahead. Go ahead.
Oh no, I was just saying it was a good time. Like everyone was super nice, and I wasn't anticipating anyone, being cruel or anything like that. But like the
Ah, not at
fact
all.
that
No.
everyone seemingly was in great spirits, it it made the weekend fly by quickly, but also it made me live in the moment of like, oh, I'm just gonna enjoy this because this is really, 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 really nice,
Yeah,
and we all get to share
definitely.
in the love of Transformers together. So what
Yeah,
more can you ask
yeah.
for?
Oh, that was going to be one of my questions. How did
Yeah,
the reaction or the sort of like fan interactions at Transformers at TFCon compare to past Comic Cons that you've been to? Because this one was,
loved it,
you know,
loved it,
a Transformers
loved
one.
it. Oh man, the fans were so nice, and we got to do it. It was me, Jason Konopisos, Isaac Singleton, and John Bailey. We got to do a panel.
Oh, yeah, Isaac
Every
was.
Isaac
Yeah.
was there. Yeah, yeah, yeah. Darkwing.
I did
We got
ask him. Yeah,
yeah. Was that
how many
you?
times he said? Well, no, I wasn't at the panel because I can't remember what
Oh,
happened.
okay,
I think I might have been in the queue for Frank Welker's of the photo ops, but
okay.
I did ask Isaac at his table how many times have people asked you to say the miners line. He said about 13.
Yeah. Because someone asked him that on the panel, and he was like, at
Oh, did
first he
they?
like,
Oh, right,
yeah.
okay.
Because at
No,
first he
that
was like,
wasn't.
what? And I was like, the minor line, because you just like grumble, grumble, minors. Yeah, and it just became like I didn't realize how much of a meme that was going to become. I think meme cultures has a
Yeah.
life of its own. So
Oh,
sometimes
yeah.
we do things and just like, if it lives in, internet world forever,
Yeah.
then so be it.
Yeah. Yeah. Fair dues. Fair dues.
Yeah,
That's
yeah, yeah,
fair
yeah.
enough. Yeah.
I do love
Well,
that everyone has their own favorite Transformer, though.
oh, yeah. Yeah.
You know,
Definitely.
yeah, yeah, yeah. So it was a lot of cosplaying, and just like a lot of like really cool artwork that people have. You know what I mean? So, and then like
Yeah.
you get like really nice things like this little keychain that someone got for me. Oh,
Oh,
look at my
it's a
boy.
little jazz.
It's a little jazz. Yeah, he's on my.
You like jazz?
You like jazz? Yeah, yeah, yeah. So I mean, I'm truly honored to be part of this, and it wasn't even like an aspiration. It was like, oh, wouldn't it be nice if it just kind of showed up one day, and I think that's
Yeah.
a good lesson in life that I constantly have to remind myself of, like just be open to what, like, because I know sometimes we have like a tunnel vision as to like where we want to go and like we want to do this, but I think when you get so blinded you miss everything that's going by you, that like, oh, that could be fun, oh, you would have had a really good time doing that, but you're so fixated on this one thing that had I been fixated on something, I would have missed this transformer opportunity, and then I wouldn't have been talking to you.
Yeah, I did. I love how it's brought us together because, as I
It
said to you,
did.
I hadn't even seen the film when we first started talking, but then I
Ah.
watched it for the first time when I flew out to LA. They had it on the
Uh-huh.
in-flight entertainment. Thank you, British Airways. And it was quite a good film. I really did enjoy it. So I was thinking to
Oh,
myself, yeah, I'm probably not gonna like this that much. Oh, it was quite good actually.
yeah, 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 yeah. Shout out to Josh Cooley. I think he really, really created something special. Oh, shout out to the whole team, not just him, but yeah, I think
Yeah.
they really created something special. And I know at the time I was, I'm biased, but like when I'm looking at it a little bit when they're showing me what they got, I'm like, oh, oh. oh, this isn't like just a kids movie. This is something special. And I think I even told Jason that at the premiere. We got the just side talking, or no, I think I told John Bailey, one or the other. I was telling him, I was like, I think this is something special. Like, I don't
Oh,
know,
for
like,
real.
the feedback we were getting, because sometimes you do things, and there's gonna be people who love it, and there's gonna be people who don't love it, and that's fine. Like, I'm fine with that either way.
Yeah, yeah.
But it was just coming in with a lot of, like you said, this is really good. Oh, this is really good. Wow, this is like one of the best Transformer things I've ever seen. And like at first I was like very like internally like, all right, like I think people are just being nice. They're just being nice. But then it just kind of kept happening. And I was like, okay, well, because I'm waiting for the other shoe to drop and be like, we hated it, boo, But like it just didn't happen. So I was like, wow,
No,
I think we struck gold here, So
definitely.
fingers crossed for a Transformers 2, y'all.
You
Fingers
dug for
crossed.
gold and you found diamond.
I like that. I like that.
That's another thing you can
I'm
steal
gonna
from me.
write that one down. Write
Oh
that one
yes,
down.
yes, please. What I was gonna say, did you meet anyone at the premiere? Like any of did you meet Brian Tyree Henry? Did you meet Chris Evans? Was Chris Evans even there? I don't know.
No, no, we didn't meet any of them because the day we
Oh,
went to the premiere in Paramount, they were in Australia promoting the film. Like
oh,
literally the same
right.
weekend. Yeah,
No,
yeah.
they weren't
So
at the LA. They chose to. Well, I mean,
they
makes sense because Chris is from Australia, but LA. It's
he's
the
from Australia. Well, also like I'm sure like their schedules like
Yeah, yeah,
yeah,
yeah,
they're like, they're massive famous people, so like their schedules are
yeah,
all over the map. So I mean,
yeah.
I think Scarlett Johansson was even working on I think she was
Oh.
working on Jurassic Park at the time. I mean, the trailer's out now for the new Jurassic Park movie, but I think
Mm-hmm.
she was like, going back and forth, doing this Jurassic Park, and then as she scoots away,
It's
and
getting
then
dark. I've got to
yeah,
shut
yeah,
my
yeah.
blinds. It's getting
Oh no,
dark.
you're totally fine. Yeah, so they just have different schedules than me.
Yeah, yeah. Well,
Us,
that
I should
makes
say,
total
not me.
sense. Oh,
Yeah.
yes, it's fine. It makes total sense. But speaking of meeting people, at
Mhm.
TFcon, maybe in the green room or anywhere else, did you have a chance to meet any other guests who were at the convention?
Like,
Maybe some of my favorites, maybe Charlie Adler, maybe Greg Berger, maybe Frank Welker, maybe I don't know. Tell me all.
I met Frank Welker. He's like, yeah. He's like, hi, I'm Frankie. Nice to meet you. Like, really, really nice guy. Oh yeah,
Hi.
just he's super, super, super sweet. And just kind of like went around, kind of introducing himself to everybody, which is like, it's always kind of
He's a
refreshing
bit like
seeing
that.
things. Well, yeah, it's like refreshing seeing that. You know what I mean? Because like you're like such a massive legend. You would think people
Yeah.
would be flocking to you, but like you're
Oh
going to
yeah.
everyone else. So like I think in my mind, that's the mark of humility. You know.
Yeah. I think it all happened when I was waiting in his VIP photo op queue. I
Hmm.
was like, really, that's the worst time.
And then I
I mean,
met yeah. I met everyone kind of like intermittently, but like I think everyone was kind of floating around. So like it was like brief chatting with most of the people backstage.
yeah, yeah.
Oh, and
Oh
then I
my
met
God.
Arif, the other jazz. I met
Arif,
Arif. Yeah.
yes.
Yeah. So yeah, it was a great time. Great time.
Yeah, he definitely
Hmm.
was. I was gonna say because I think last I kind of thinking I'm not sure if you got to meet him backstage. Scott Brownlee, he was announced for a guest as a guest on the Sunday. He was G1. He was the recording engineer. He did a lot of the G1 sessions, and he actually did the session with Orson Welles for the movie. It's
I
Me,
don't. I
Old
don't.
Guy, Wearing Black. I don't.
Maybe.
Well, they had him signing in the hotel
Okay.
foyer instead of the trader hall, the main guest hall, which I
They
don't
didn't
understand
have him in
why.
a. Hmm.
And they
That's
literally
weird.
just like got someone else's old banner and just taped his name over it. It was
Oh,
last minute, and I said they made an effort, but
that's fair.
hopefully next year he gets
Th-
his own banner and he gets a
Did he did,
space.
did he sign on last minute, or like was it
Well, he was coming on
okay?
Sun. It was thing to come on the Sunday because I'm close friends with him. I actually got him to come last year for the G1 anniversary, and he
Uh-huh.
surprised Frank for his birthday.
Oh.
So he decided to come this year again,
Uh-huh.
and then the organizer had been in touch with him, and I think they're arranging something for next year as well.
Okay,
So
good. Good. So hopefully they'll give him, proper
yeah,
setup.
yeah, I'm excited though, to be fair,
Yeah,
because there's stuff which I can't say because it's not my place to talk about it because of
sure.
like NDAs and stuff like that. But it's,
Sure.
I think they are planning on doing something
It's
next
it's
year with
got
Scott.
some in the
Yeah,
oven. Okay. All
excited,
right.
excited.
All right. All
Okay,
right. We're gonna wait.
Yeah, gonna wait. Just gonna no play the winning game, you know. Let's talk about how you got started with your career,
Okay.
Evan. I want to know
Okay.
whereabouts you where were you born?
Here's the origin story. Okay. Yeah, I was born in St. Louis, Missouri,
Uh-huh.
Midwest. And
Wait.
then when I was like 9, my family, we all moved to Atlanta. So, and my family is still down there, to this day. And we more or less, I tell people I'm from Atlanta,
Well,
just
be
because
lucky
it's,
you're from St. Louis because
yeah, oh yeah, there's nothing
Greg
wrong with saying,
Berger was born there.
yeah,
So all the
there's nothing,
legends are born there.
yeah, there's nothing wrong with St. Louis, but like more of my roots are grounded in Atlanta, because I was like fourth grade when I moved
Yeah.
there, so I did like elementary school, middle school, all of high school, you know what I mean? So it's like I'm just mainly from
Yeah,
Atlanta.
yeah,
But then
yeah.
after college, I went to I got majored in theater in Auburn University. Shout out to Auburn. And then afterwards, I went straight up to Chicago, and I was doing theater for about 5 years. Yeah, about 5 years up there. And I knew I wasn't going to stay in Chicago forever. I knew moving in there was going to be, at most, I was going to stay for 6. And I was either going to
Yeah.
go to New York or LA. And I don't know if you've been to Chicago, but it gets very, very, very cold. And I
Oh
was
yeah.
kind of just over the cold weather. Like it snows a lot. I think the last year I was there, we had this like gnarly blizzard where like I walked out of my apartment and the snow was like past my waist, just trying
Ooh.
to like, yeah, like trying to just open the door and just trying to get out. I was like, yeah, I think I want sunshine. So I moved to
Yeah.
LA, and I've been, kind of hitting the ground running ever since. And it's a jungle out here, but we've made it
Oh
work.
yeah.
You know
Yeah.
we've made it
I can.
work. And I kind of fell into voice acting. I usually say by accident, but looking back on it, the reality is I saw an opportunity and I took it. As you pointed out earlier, I was auditioning. I saw this audition for Camp WWE. The WWE was making an adult animation cartoon show, and I
Hmm.
never had any voice acting training. I didn't have an agent. I didn't have a demo. I knew nothing about voice acting. But I've been a massive wrestling fan my entire life, so I had an acting manager at the time. I said, "Do you think you can?" I emailed her. I said, "Do you think you can get me an audition for this? I think I would be really good." And it was the director and the creator was Seth Green. I don't know, like he's from
Ooh.
Family Guy, yeah, yeah,
Yes.
yeah, Robot
Robot
Chicken.
Chicken.
Very successful on camera
Stupid
actor.
Buddy Studios.
Exactly,
The stop
exactly.
motion
So
stuff. I love it. Love it.
he was the director. So I go in, I do several rounds of auditions. And then like I ended up eventually getting it. And it was great first session. Like we talked for like half an hour before even going in there because he's like, "Where are you from?" And like, "What do you?" I asked him just about me. Um, and it was like I told him like, "This is my first time doing this," and he was like, "Well, like I think I see like some really good potential in you." And then I walked out to my car and I sat in the car and I was like, "Evan, it's only a matter of time before people realize you don't know what you're doing." So the money I got from that show, I invested it into voice acting classes and whatnot because I don't like doing things where you feel like you're a fraud. Like you can only fake your way
Yeah.
so much through things, but like when it gets down to it, you want to know what you're talking about. So
Yeah.
that's
Yeah.
what I was doing for years. And then I wasn't really doing much with voice acting after the show so much per se. But around 2017, 2018, I started going to E3, which is like a big video game convention.
Yeah. Yeah.
Exactly. So I'm seeing all these trailers for all these upcoming video games, and like the spark kind of reignited in me of like, Evan, why aren't you in these games? Like you should be in these games. You loved doing the voice acting thing. Like why aren't you doing this? And the more I thought about it, the more I was like, it's kind of you get like the warm and fuzzy feeling when you think about something that brings you joy and happy. You're like,
Yeah.
I should get. I'm like, I really need to get back into this. So I'm getting back into it, and then the pandemic happens. So
Ooh.
yeah. And
I can relate. I can
yeah,
relate.
yeah,
Yes.
yeah, yeah. And I was finishing up my last voiceover class at the time. And I was living with two other guys, and I like closed my laptop. I walked into my roommate's room and I said, "We should build a voiceover booth in the house. You've always wanted to build one. I'm getting back into VO. It doesn't seem like we're gonna go anywhere for a very, very long time. We should do it now, or this is just going to be something we constantly talk about." So we did. Pandemic came and we built a voiceover booth, not this one, But we built a booth. My one of my mentors, she got me my dream agency, Dean Pinero, because she knew
Ooh.
him for years ago, and he took me in. And February of 2021, I booked my first video game, which was Lost Ark. I
Ooh.
don't even remember what characters I was in that game. It was just I think it was just a bunch of ancillary characters. But then
Ah.
my second video game was Guilty Gear Strive. It was Nagoriyuki, and I knew that was going to be a big deal because I didn't realize there had been, or maybe there was. Don't crucify me out there, but I don't
I
know
won't.
if there
Don't
was
worry.
another black character in Guilty Gear. I mean, for the followers, I'm like, I don't know. Don't crucify me, but like, yeah, he was a vampire samurai. So I was like, oh, this is too cool, you know what I mean? And
Right,
then
I'm with you.
after that, I was just kind of off to the races, with Spider-Man and Asgard's Wrath, and just kind of booking things here and there. I was like, all right, I'm getting kind of good at this, and then, as it were, years and years go by, and this little unknown property called Transformers falls into my lap, and here we are. It was a very, very weird, not weird, I should say. It was interesting how it all kind of came to be. We can we
Yeah.
can we can talk about that if you want to know.
Of course, yeah. I think I did
Okay.
read up on the TF wiki. It said something like you were brought in to do scratch tracks and then you landed the role as
They
Jazz.
brought me in, yeah, for a few times to do a couple of scratch tracks. Just little something here and there, and then they kind of kept bringing me back, and they were like, "Can you do Megatron for us?" And I was doing, the scratch for Megatron and Bumblebee, and kind of doing some Alpha Trion stuff, and just kind of little things here and there. And again, I'm not thinking anything of it. Just like, all right, well, I'm happy to be of service. And then once they kept bringing me back, I kind of had the thought of, I think they're gonna put me in this movie. They keep saying nice things about me, but again, I didn't want to be presumptuous. I was like, maybe like guard number 3 in the back. You know what I mean? Like I don't like
Yeah.
I wasn't thinking lofty. You know what I mean? So
No.
um and there was I was doing a signing one day for Guilty Gear. I was doing it on like my Instagram live, and I had my phone on silent,
Ah.
and I didn't want it to ring while I was doing the signing. And then when I turned it off, my agent called me, and he was like, left a voicemail. And he don't never call, or unless he calls, unless it's something like massively important. So I'm like, call him back, and he says, I have some really beep news for you. I was like, oh. He was like, yeah. They have one more character, and they don't need the scratch audio for it. They want to know if you will do them the honor of being Jazz in the new Transformer movie. And you would have thought time froze at that moment. Like the car stopped driving. Yeah, all the birds stopped flying in midair. Like I'm just looking around like this can't be reality. Like, no. Like he didn't like really just say that. Like they could get someone famous. But like
Yeah.
they want so I was like, yeah, I'll be there Monday, or I can go there right now whenever they need me. So it blew my mind, and I'm just filled with so much gratitude. You know what I mean? And like the studio, I really have to shout out the production team because they really, really, kind of not kind of joking, but like they really went to bat for me because the studio, they probably did want someone famous, but they were like, no, 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 no. This guy's done some scratch audio for us. He's really good. Um, he's up for the job. So
Yeah.
they vouch for me. Um, to all the people out there who are interested in voice acting, sometimes these people look you up because one of the coordinators, they told me like, yeah, like the Paramount people, they like looked you up to make sure you weren't like psycho, or you were like, had like a bit of a resume. So
Yeah.
it's like then they everything came back good and they gave me the part.
That's marvelous.
But it's
Well done,
true,
you.
they really do look you up because they want to make sure you're not you know so when I see a little bit of a tangent, sometimes when I see some of my colleagues or some
Yeah.
hopeful voice actors kind of go off the rails a little bit online,
Digital footprint.
yeah, exactly. I'm like, I don't know if I would have said all
Once it's out
that,
there, you
but
can't take it back.
that's true. That's why I'm like, just don't go down that route, people. I don't know.
No.
I'll
No.
save that for another TED talk. But
That's
overall,
okay.
they brought me in. We did the role. You know, when they were playing Chris Hemsworth opposite of me, I was just like, be professional, Evan, but I was like, "Ugh," on the inside, you know, like squealing. I'm like, that's Thor. Um, so yeah, it was like one of the best days of my life, you know.
Wow, wow,
Yeah.
that's wonderful. That's really
Yeah.
wonderful.
Sorry, that was a very long-winded story
No,
from like
don't apologize.
from where I'm from to like how we got here. But
No,
yeah.
that's
Yeah, yeah.
okay. That's okay. That's what I was gonna say because growing up, Jazz in the
Mhm.
series, it was first portrayed by Scatman Crothers. He
Sure
was
was.
very famous singer. You grew
Uh-huh.
up with G1, right?
I did, yes.
We're
So
following all
I
the
mean,
actors who have who have
oh yeah, no,
played
no, I was just saying, yeah,
Jazz.
I remember Scatman. Yeah. I
Yeah,
remember hearing his voice as a kid, yeah.
yeah. Well, I was gonna say like the line of black actors who have played Jazz. How does it
Mhm.
feel like a Reef and Scatman? I'm trying to think of any others. Who else is there? I'm trying to think. Isaac did voice. Oh no, no, he didn't. No, he voiced
There's
Soundwave. He voiced Soundwave. Sorry. What is it like to join that lineup?
yeah,
Basically.
there's been like I'm guessing there's probably been like 8 or 9 people. Oh, like Phil Lamar, I think at one point did
Oh
jazz.
yes, he did. Yes,
Yeah.
yes, yes.
Yeah, yeah.
How
So
many?
like
Hold on. Just behind the voice.
yeah, look that up. Was
I
it
want
like
to see.
10?
I want to see how many jazz voice actors I've met.
If we're gonna
Um,
price this right, I'm gonna say there have been 10 jazzes. What
um,
are we at?
if we're talking about English, Scatman
Mhm.
did him in the G1 series. Wally Burr
Mhm.
did him for one episode. I
Okay.
think Frank Welker did him for one commercial.
Okay.
Um, Scatman did him for the film. Someone called Jack Murphy did him for the Headmasters game. Alex
Mhm.
Easley for the 2003 PlayStation game. Andrew Casino for the TF07 game. And Darius McCrary.
Yeah, I was gonna
He
say
did it for
Darius McCray.
Bayverse, yeah.
He was Family Matters. He was Eddie on Family Matters. Yeah,
Yes, he was.
he was
Yes,
Jazz, and then they did him
yes.
dirty in that movie.
Oh, for real, for real. You got
They
Phil
did him
Lamar,
dirty.
then you got
Uh,
Scott White, Troy Baker, Arif, and then you.
and then me, and then
Yeah.
me.
So
Yeah.
I've
No,
met a lot of people. Yeah.
it felt cool. It felt cool. Like, you know, we were obviously this is before any of them find Earth. You know what I mean? So like we know nothing of Earth culture or its people.
Yeah.
So it wasn't really much of a discussion per se, but I think Josh wanted just, you know, more or less myself in this. That sounds like wow, just throwaway, but like you know what I mean? Like Jazz and Transformers One isn't the Jazz we know on Earth.
No. No.
Exactly. So like, you know, he's not so animated so much, but like, you know, in the roadmap in my
You're
mind,
technically the youngest version. You're technically
the,
the younger version of Scatman Crothers.
exactly. So it's like, you know, if we were to roadmap this in a Transformer One trilogy, let's say hypothetically, you know, if you know the Autobots eventually go to Earth, then like
Yeah.
we would see a much different, you know, even Optimus Prime. We would see a different version of all these people because now they're interacting with a species they've never met before, and they all seem cool, and some of them, you know, maybe not so much, but
Yeah.
like, you know,
Well, I'll tell you one thing that does make me quite sad is that Jazz, I didn't realize this up until now, but he doesn't really appear in a lot of Transformers
yeah. What's
media.
that all
Um,
about?
yeah, he goes from the G1 series to the
Mm-hmm.
PlayStation game from
Mm-hmm.
2003, then to
Mm-hmm.
Bayverse, then
Mm-hmm.
animated, then a few of the the video games and stuff. Then it's
Yeah.
RID 2015, and then Transformers 1. He's not in Cyberverse, he's not in
Mm-hmm.
the War for Cybertron Netflix show, he's not in any of the Unicron or Beast Wars series. I think it's a bit he's not in the Robots in Disguise series from 2001. I just find it a bit sad. I know I don't.
Yeah. It makes me scratch my head too, because I'm like, isn't
Yeah,
he like a fan favorite? Like,
he's one of
you
my
know?
favorites. I like all of them,
Yeah,
but I
like
have a soft spot for Jazz.
you know, I'm you know doing my little like Google searching and whatnot. I'm seeing like comments on like you know Twitter and other you know social media and like yeah, Jazz is like such a beloved character. So it does surprise me that he doesn't show up as much as you know some of the other Autobots. But like I think I said to you and maybe the panel at TFcon and you
Yeah.
know. Selfishly speaking, even if it's not me, like I would be happy if this came to fruition. But like, I would love it if there was a Jazz spinoff one day.
Yes, yes. I know
Yeah,
that Peter Cullen does want an Optimus spin-off movie, so why can't we have one for like every single Autobot? Like can we have a
that's
Ratchet one where he's a young
that's
medic or something?
exactly, and that's what the thing I said is like you know
Bumblebee
you
got
have all
one.
these
Yeah,
well you have all these other IPs like Marvel does it and DC does it and you know
yeah,
so many other IPs. I'm like you guys branch off all of these characters, which is
yeah.
great, you know. So I'm like, why hasn't the Transformers done that? With the exception of Bumblebee.
Yeah,
Like,
it makes
why
sense.
don't we
And
just see what like Megatron was like just as him? You know what I mean? Like
actually,
who he
yeah.
interacted with, you know what I mean? Outside of obviously Optimus Prime, but you know what I mean? But like who are these people?
I don't know, but I actually got a really good question for you. Now some people see it differently, and there's different answers from different people. Who do
Uh-oh.
you see as Optimus Prime's second in command? Do you see it as Jazz? Do you see it as Bumblebee? Do you see it as Ratchet? Who do you see? Who do you consider Optimus Prime's second in command?
I mean, just lore base. Me.
Eventually, people say it's
I'm
Bumblebee,
like,
but he's the young
I was like,
scout, and then
yeah, I
but
was like,
for
me?
Megatron, people say Starscream. It's like, well, I mean, he constantly beats the shit out of Starscream. Why don't you just say
Yeah.
it's Soundwave? I mean, it's two Frank Wilkers, just like pop them down there, just yeah.
Yeah, yeah, and
It's just
like he
I
kind
don't know.
of dethroned,
It's it, it
Starscream.
varies between different people,
That's fair.
but
That's fair.
it's
Yeah.
whatever you at home believe in, whatever you want your
Why do
story to
people
be.
say? Oh, are they people saying Bumblebee just because of like the Bayverse as
Yeah,
like
and
second in
also the
command?
Bumblebee film. I'm like, I
That's
don't
fair.
know.
That's fair.
It
That's
depends
fair.
what law you're into.
Yeah, 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 yeah. Exactly. But like, yeah, according to G1, it's like it's jazz, right? Right?
Yeah, 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 yeah.
I was like,
I love it, mate. I love it, mate. I love it,
yeah.
mate. Right, okay, I've got to talk about this now.
Uh-huh.
Universal Studios Hollywood. Now, I didn't know
Yeah.
this up until I think today that you actually are one of the. You said it's 11 performers.
There's like I think look thinking back on the roster, I think there's like 11 or 10 of us. Yeah.
Wow. Who actually voice Optimus and
So
Megatron at
yeah, so if you go
Universal
on
Studios
like
Hollywood.
TikTok or anything really, if you see clips of like Universal Studios Hollywood and you see Megatron roasting people or Optimus Prime giving some heroic speech or whatever, yeah, it's
Mhm.
usually one of the 10 of us. Oh man,
Wow.
I'm not gonna lie, being Megatron is quite cathartic, you
I'm
know,
so jealous. I was gonna
because
say,
I mean,
yeah.
whatever. It's like I'm not gonna give all the secrets away, but like essentially, all I'll say is we're not in the suit. We're not in the
I
suit.
didn't think you were in this suit. I just
Yeah,
presumed you guys
yeah,
were
yeah.
in like a
Yeah.
control room or something.
Yeah, essentially. So, but you get to
It's so
roast
weird
people,
how
and then just like walk past them later on, and like they have no idea.
it's so weird because like if you're in the control room doing the voice and then you've got the person in the costume like doing the
Yeah.
stilts and stuff, how are you
Uh-huh.
supposed to coordinate with them? Like, have you got to speak, judge on their movements, or have they
Well,
got to move on judging on how you speak?
listen, ladies and gentlemen, go to any theme park. There are cameras everywhere, even some that maybe you don't even see. But yes, we have in our, control room, we have cameras in there. We have quite a few
Ooh,
cameras, and a few of them are adjustable, so you can zoom in and zoom out, so we can
fair
see
dues, fair
t-shirts
dues.
and like tattoos, and if you got something dumb on your hat, maybe we'll zoom in, make fun of that, maybe your shoes. I don't know, but
Well, I was gonna say because when I went to
mhm.
Universal last, and it was a few days. I think it might have been, yeah, it was about a day or two after. No, it was the day after TFcon, the Sunday of
Oh,
TFcon.
okay, okay.
So I'm not sure if it probably might not have been you that day, but I was wearing a Decepticon t-shirt,
Okay, okay. Probably
and
wasn't me that day, but after
and I
TFCon, my voice was thrashed.
ooh, and I went up to Optimus and I was like,
Uh-huh.
oh crap. And he was like, oh, you're a Decepticon in disguise. Bumblebee kept lunging towards me. I was terrified me. I was like, oh no.
You
And then I'm
betrayed
like,
them.
I know. And then I met Megatron and he was
Yeah,
like, because
you're on the list.
I have like a bag. You saw my bag, didn't you? It
Yeah,
was like,
yeah.
yes, I had that with me as well. I had
Ah!
Transformers Converse. So I was like, yeah, about that. I remember because what did I do last year? Last year I had the Soundwave Loungefly on my back.
Okay.
So I'm not sure. It depends, but obviously all 10 of you know who Kenya is, right? I see her coming up all over my feed. She
We do.
always goes to Megatron. I'm
We
assuming
do
it's
know of Kenya. We don't know. I don't know her personally, but
you don't.
yes, I
Yeah,
do know.
you
Yeah,
do know of. Yeah,
I do know of Kenya.
that's
Yeah,
crazy.
yeah,
I
yeah.
know.
She is a super fan. So if you ever go on TikTok and you type up Megatron Universal Studios, 90% of them are from
From
Kenya.
Kenya.
Yeah, yeah, and her interaction with Megatron and how
Yeah.
Megatron
bestie.
is her best friend. Yeah, that's her
Love it,
bestie.
love it, love
You
it.
know?
Wish I lived in the area so I could be visited all the time. That'd be quite
Oh
fun. It
God.
reminds me
Yeah, yeah.
because my brother and his wife are actually at Universal Studios Florida right now, and he just sent me a video of the Optimus and Bumblebee. And it's weird how it's different setup to the one in Hollywood.
Yeah, 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 yeah. I don't know how they do it down at
I mean,
that
the one
one, but
in Beijing has Windblade.
oh,
I think it's Beijing. I think yeah.
so they give us a few comps, um, from working there. So I
Yeah.
need to take a trip over to Beijing at some point. I'm
Oh
like,
yeah,
listen,
yeah,
while
definitely.
I'm working here, I gotta cash in some of these comps to see what this setup is all about and see what can I borrow.
Yeah, yeah,
What
that's
can I
so
borrow?
cool though. Honestly, like
Yeah.
I
Oh
don't
yeah.
know.
No, no, no.
I will be there in July, so who knows if you'll be there on the day I go. But I can imagine you and the other actors in the group chat saying, "Oh yeah, Kenya's here today. Which one of yous is working? Oh, that'll
Yeah.
be me."
Yeah, yeah, yeah. Do usually like we can, in our control center, we can like adjust the camera to like see, maybe see who's in line or
You just
whatnot. So like,
instantly recognize Kenya. It's so
yeah,
funny.
yeah, yeah, yeah. At this point, it's pretty reckon, and we have a few guests who kind of come by regular. They don't always film things, but like we have a little board where we kind of write people who come by a lot. That way, we can kind of make their experience a little bit more special. So if you're out there and you're listening, if you come by Optimus or Megatron consistently, you might get remembered. If
Ooh.
you strike up a kinship with either one. If you want to trash talk the Autobots, I'm sure that'll get in Megatron's good graces and
Well,
whatnot.
I was thinking to myself, look, I know one of them is another voice actor. So I was like, he's probably the only guy who does the voice. So maybe if I go next time, he'll remember me. And I'm thinking, oh, there's
Maybe.
10 of you. Yeah, it's not gonna be regular because I live on the other side of the ocean. I'll probably only get to
Sure.
LA like once or twice a year, but
Sure, 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 sure.
who knows? Who knows? Maybe I'm memorable enough to everybody who works
It,
there. I don't know.
exactly, exactly. You gotta show them a picture or a video or like, remember me? I was.
Yeah. Oh,
What you
look.
need to do is you need to have like a jacket, like an Autobot jacket and like a Decepticon jacket. That way, whoever's out there, you just like switch it out. You can kind of flip flop your loyalty.
Why didn't I do that last time? I should have took the one I wore at TFcon. I'm gonna do that this time.
I'm
Definitely
just
go and meet
saying.
Optimus
I'm
wearing
just
this.
saying.
But
You
then I won't
gotta
be
be
seeing him again
prepared.
until March. But hopefully you'll remember me.
That's okay. Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Yeah, of course. Right, Darth Vader. Apparently, where did this all come from? I mean, I'm just sourcing it from the TF wiki. Since you could do
Okay.
a killer Darth Vader impression.
So when I was in theater, never done a play, don't know anything about. I'm new to acting.
Yeah.
I'm giving it a shot. So I'm auditioning for my first play, and I don't really know anyone that well in the theater department. I'm brand new, so like we're sitting in the auditorium, just kind of waiting for our turn to go up and audition, and I'm sitting with these two guys, Jason and Riley. Shout out to them. We just got to talk, small talk, nothing major.
Yeah.
To this day, I don't know how we got on the subject of Disney. I think we are just talking about like favorite Disney movies and whatnot. And I was like, oh man, like you gotta, throw the Lion King in there, Luke Simba. Everything the light touches is our kingdom. And they're like, wow,
Why weren't you in Mufasa?
that was taught to the mouse, all right, but we'll table that for another TED Talk.
I'll talk to them when they buy out Transformers.
Exactly. But they were like, wow, that's pretty good. And I've never done that like a day in my life. And it kind of when it came out, I kind of was just like, wow. They were like, you should do that up there. I was like, all right, I'll give it a shot. So I go up there, I do this character kind of a la James Earl Jones, and excuse me. And the director's like, I love it. So he like cast me as this like little bit part in this. What was it? What was the play? It was Galileo. It was yeah. I think I was like a bishop. LOL. In Galileo. But ever since that audition, I just kind of like put that in my back pocket. Kind of like I don't know if it's like a parlor trick or whatever, but like, and I'm not a big celebrity impersonator. Like I can't do like a bunch of celebrities, but like that was always like my like ace in the hole.
Yeah.
And what was it? 2022. It was announced that James Earl Jones was stepping down from Darth Vader, and that Disney, this AI program.
Yeah.
Here for now. I'll just be completely transparent. I don't necessarily agree with that route.
I don't either.
I think legacy characters should go to someone else. I'm like, Mickey
Yeah,
Mouse has been done by plenty of people. Eric
yeah,
Bauza does
yeah,
Bugs Bunny and Daffy Duck and all the Looney Tunes. It's like if other people can do these roles, it should go to someone else. Even if it doesn't go to me, like it should just go to someone else, right?
yeah.
One of my old acting teachers hit me up on Twitter. He like DM me. He was like, "Hey, because I did that opening Lion King for class because we had to do a celebrity impression. Again, that's the
Mm-hmm.
only one I can really do." So he was like,
Yeah.
"Hey, we should film you doing that because I know you can do it. We've all heard you do it. This is like kind of like a hot button right now. The whole James Earl Jones thing. Like we got to do it within a week because after a week, no one is going to talk about it." So I go over to his place, we set up my phone, hook it all up together. So I'm filming myself doing because he's like, we need people to see that it's you and it's
Yeah.
not a computer or whatever. Took like 8 hours. We did like, 5 scenes from Star Wars. And we're trying to like sync it all up so it looks just right
Mm-hmm.
and editing it all over. And then Monday comes around and, I'm like about to post it and then I almost back out at the last minute just because, like, oh, no offense, everyone. Sorry, but I sometimes know how Star Wars fans can be.
Oh yeah.
you know, as I say ever so delicately. I know how they can be. But I was like,
Zack Snyder fans.
I got some pep talks from some friends. They're like, no, 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 no. This is really good. You should post it. So I'm like, all right. So I posted the first one. I said, we're just going to post one a day. I posted it, let it go. Right. And it's getting some traction, getting a little traction. I'm like, all right. And my phone just keeps lighting up and it's just getting like shared and comments. I was like, wow, this is really kind of taking on a life of its own. And then I don't know who the guy is, but someone with like 1 million followers on Twitter shared it and like captured it was
Ooh.
like, oh my God. And then it was like, you know what I mean? It starts climbing a little bit more. And
Yeah,
I was like,
yeah.
that's crazy. And then I'm like, I put my phone down, I look at it, it opens up. Mark Hamill has liked your video. No. Mark Hamill has commented on you. I was like, that can't be like the it is. Oh dear. And after that, I think Screen Rant picked it up and did like an article on it. And they were like, this is like a good
Wow.
testament and a lot of the comments were kind of the intention behind it of, well, I mean, transparency twofold. One, I was trying to get a job. Two, um, yeah, I just think kind of like I said earlier, I'm like, I think these roles should go to a human rather than a machine, just because I think humans
Yeah.
can do the job. We're
Mm-hmm.
the storytellers. So a lot of people were making the argument on my behalf of like, yeah, we should just get someone else, maybe this guy, to do Darth Vader from now on, because like he's pretty good at it. So I
Yeah.
think that's like at the nucleus of it, of like we got to protect the integrity of voice acting and not let it go to machines. And I think, AI is here, and I'm not here to like, ruin and try to say AI should go away because it's here. It is what it is. But I think if you're a voice actor, I think now more than ever, we have to outperform AI. We have to
Yeah.
prove to people a little bit more that we are worth the investment than a
Yeah.
machine.
Mm-hmm.
So that's my TED talk. I hope people, I hope they agree with me, but if
Yeah.
others
I'm
don't,
pretty sure
then
they
like
will.
that's also fine too if they don't.
I'm sure they will. Don't worry. Don't
Yeah.
stress yourself out of
Yeah.
it. I think you do
No,
really
no, no.
well.
Oh, no, no, no. It again, like it really took on a life of its own, and I think I think it shined a different light on me amongst my colleagues and friends because I don't think at the
Yeah.
time anyone knew I could do that.
No.
So,
Not at
you
all,
know.
no. I think it's
Yeah.
so cool though. I think it is really
Thanks.
cool.
Thanks.
You're
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
welcome. You're
One maybe
welcome.
yeah, no, maybe one day there'll be like a Star Wars like mobile game or just maybe a AAA game or
Yeah.
maybe even like a TV show or movie and they're like, "You know what? Let's ditch the AI. Let's find someone." And I'll be like,
Yeah.
"Well, well, well." That's when I
There's
slide
so
into
many
frame.
people who do it. Fred Tatasciore does it for Disney parks. There's no
Yep.
need to use AI. It's
Yep.
crazy.
Yep.
Yeah,
Yep.
it's madness, honestly. Yeah.
I don't
Um,
know.
well, is there anything you can talk about right now, as in stuff you're working on, or stuff that's just been released? I know Jurassic World Chaos Theory's just been released. Was it Serena Owen who voice directed that show?
Yes, yes,
Do
yes.
it, do it. Love Serena.
Look at you with the
I love Serena. She's so
research.
awesome.
You should be
She
impressed.
does a lot of stuff with Charlie Adler, so I
Yeah,
have to
yeah, no,
talk
no,
to her.
totally. I
Yeah.
worked on Jurassic Park Chaos Theory season 3 just dropped on Netflix. If you haven't seen it, check it out. I started on that show. Like what? I think at this point I might have started on that show like 2 years ago, maybe at
Ooh.
minimum a year and a half. It was a little bit before. No, I don't know. Yeah, I think it was like it was. I was trying to do the timeline in my head. It was like it might have been like 2 years ago. I started working on that show, and
Yeah.
then as things happen, you just kind of move on with life, and you just kind of forget, and then all of a sudden you
Yeah.
get an email saying like, "Hey, by the way, your character's coming out," and you're like, "Wait, what did I do?" And then you're like, "Oh, okay," and they're like, "Yes, you can use this trailer and dropped and whatnot."
Yeah.
And from what I've gathered, it seems like it's been pretty well received.
Yeah.
Um, so that makes me happy, hopefully season 4, hopefully I'll get to come back. Hopefully, we'll see. I don't know.
Who knows? Who
Who
knows?
knows? Who knows? I don't know. I don't know. But
Exciting.
yeah, like that's the latest thing that I can talk about. And then there's some other fun things that are in the pipeline that will be announced at a later date whenever I get the official green light. But yes, rest assured, we're working on some things. Working on some things. I don't have any news
Awesome.
on the future of Transformers. I will be completely transparent with you guys. I don't know. They don't tell me any of that stuff. Again, I think it's no mystery that I think collectively, not just actors, but people on the production side, I think we all would love to come back. But just right now, we just haven't got any word as to when and or if that will happen. So
Yeah. Who knows?
yeah,
Who knows? CinemaCon went by. No really mentions on any Transformers stuff, but
yeah,
who knows? It could happen.
yeah, exactly. So
Mhm.
who knows?
Who knows? Evan, I'm gonna do like a fake outro now, and then I'm gonna probably
Sure,
say goodbye to you if that's okay.
sure,
Awesome.
absolutely.
Well, Evan, thank you so so much for coming on my show. It's been an absolute pleasure to talk to you.
Oh,
Two things. Where can we find you online? Have you got a
you can
website? Have you got social media?
social media, Twitter, Instagram, TikTok. Even though I need to get better at it, pretty much everywhere you can find me at Evan Michael Lee. All one word, like a Tribe Called Quest. Please say the whole thing.
Awesome. I'll get those
Hmm.
linked in the description. And the second thing is, are there any other Comic Cons that you're going to as a guest, aside from TF Nation in the near future that you'd like to promote? Because I think I did
Uh,
see one that's happening in June.
yes, yes. There's a Robo Toy Fest, which is going to be here in Burbank. That is going to be in the beginning of June. Hold on, hold on, hold on, hold on. Don't leave, don't leave, because I'm
Try not
pulling
to.
up my phone because I'm ill prepared.
Good night,
I'm
everybody.
also I'm also going to the Saline County
Selling
Comic
County Comic
Expo.
Expo. I've
Yes,
got that post, just loaded
yes.
that poster.
That is going to be the weekend of, I believe, June 12th and 13th. I believe that is a week
Uh,
before my birthday. So maybe
ooh,
we'll preemptively
yay!
celebrate my birthday that
Yeah!
week. I'm not one of
So
those people
exciting.
who's like, it's my birthday month or like my birthday, week or
Oh,
whatever.
same as me.
I'm usually not one of those people, but like if we're gonna be at a con a week before my birthday, maybe we'll do something. I don't know.
Yeah, well, people say, "Oh my God, happy birthday" and stuff. I'm like, okay, thing with the birthday wishes, it's okay. Don't be a fuss. Oh, what do you want me to say? You've aged. Happy day. Happy day.
You've aged.
Yeah,
Oh, I'm
I
dead.
don't understand people. I don't really used to I'd be like, "Oh my God, it's my birthday." Nowadays, I'm just like, "Oh yeah, it's another day." Cake and candles, presents. It
So
doesn't
my
really don't
rationale
feel any
is
different.
right, right. My rationale is when I was in school, we always got out of school probably in June, right? Beginning of June. So
Yeah.
like everyone who had their birthday throughout the school year, they always got like the birthday cake in class or like cupcakes and we all sang happy birthday. And I never got that. And that's not like a poor me or whatever, like I'm fine. But like I guess that's part of the reason why I never make a big deal out of my birthday. It's like, it's
Mhm.
whatever, you know. But who
Yeah, same
knows?
as me.
Maybe
Same
I'll
as
do
me.
something this year. Maybe I'll do something fun.
Yeah, definitely. Sorry, I've just had a text from someone.
No, no, you're good.
David K's just messaging me. I was like, he messaged me like half an hour ago and I didn't see it till now. I'm like,
Oh no.
I'm like, I know, because I always put my phone on silent and screen down when I'm recording, but like I just see
Same.
out the corner of my eye, oh, Messenger. And I know I'm meant to be talking to David K tonight. I'm like,
Yeah. I saw a thing
yeah.
on Twitter the other day. Before we go out, this is nothing related to what we're talking about, but it's like I saw someone that said like people who put their phone on do not disturb, like they don't care about anyone. It's like, well, I also have friends in different time zones, so sometimes there'll be like a group chat going on for like my friends on the East Coast, but it's like 4 a.m. here. So I'm like,
Yeah.
I'm not trying to hear this group chat, whatever it's about at this hour. So yeah, I always put my phone on do not disturb, and I'm like, oh, only certain people like family members can get through if it's on that
Yeah.
function in case it's like an
Yeah.
emergency, but other than that, it's like,
Same as me, because most of my friends are on the West Coast.
so
Of
you get it exactly. You're not trying
course
to
I
get
do.
woken
Of
up.
course I do.
Yeah, like
Yeah.
you're not trying to get woken up at like 1 a.m. by
Oh no, not at all.
a silly innocuous text.
Let me sleep.
Exactly,
Let me
exactly,
rest. I need to just rest. It's
exactly.
crazy, honestly. But honestly, Evan, I've had such an awesome time with you. And you at home, if you want to meet Evan in the future, then go to the Saline County Comic Expo, Comic Con Expo, or you can go to TF Nation if you're in the UK, or go to the
Hmm.
Robo Toy Fest. Any of those
Hmm.
three if you want to go meet him if you're around that area. And with that, I'm going to sign off here. Thank you so much for watching this episode of In Conversation with ATF. I've had a great time recording it, and I hope you like, comment, subscribe. Otherwise, I will send Jazz over to your house and he will make you go
Like and subscribe.
murders. I'm sorry,
Yeah, yeah, yeah,
that's
yeah,
so
yeah.
cringe. I'm sorry. That's
No,
my
no,
thing.
no, no, no. They gotta like and subscribe. We're trying to
Oh,
get them
for
numbers
real.
up.
For
Do it.
realsies. Yeah. So thank you guys, and I'll see you next time. Bye. And cut. That was very hard. I slammed it down like.
Yeah, you're like.